Way too late.
The piano, not a toy. Expensive musical instrument. Be approached with dedication, concentration, and clean fingernails. Sorry, I don't think any students your age.
All right. I wonder why it was being dumbass. Eva Hush. Thank you. Eva Hush. Eva, I should shut up. Hey, for six. How are you, love? Sorry. I was looking at. Oh, there I go again, talking in my. I am so sorry. How is everybody doing today? Welcome, welcome in. I have missed everybody. In a minute, but I see nothing has changed since I haven't been on. Tell that much. Everybody's still in there. I'm telling you, it's not telling anybody. Hello, hello, hello. Who's here? Who's here? Who's here? All right. Be glad when we hear something. Yeah, me too. I think I'm gonna bear off of it for a little bit and get some information because I just don't believe digging into other people's personal is gonna help find something. I mean, maybe it will, but I just don't. I think a lot of people they're talking to and trying to find this information and try to find that information, and nobody's coming up with information. I just that's just my thought on it. I mean, not saying we can't talk about it because of course, whatever we want. Like we talk about everything and anything. So it's depending on what y'all want to talk about. I really do want to start on though because, like I said, there's really nothing new in the case. They're just digging apart other people's lives, and everybody's mainly doing it. And I'm just so tired of it. I'm tired of people going into it for money. And I mean, it's good to talk about the people and their thing because they are most of them are in that little collar that they call it. They are mostly um, are SOs. So, I'm not saying they're doing so much, but I just until we get more facts, we can't blame it on anybody. Like I'm still innocent until proven guilty, but the, with the things that have came out last week or so with DK and that, I don't know what to believe in. He's getting really old. It is, and you guys know me personally. I do not like going same motion as everybody else. Oh, I heard this, that we're going to talk about that. No, I mean, if it pertains to someone being missing, then why are we talking about it? Like, I can understand us talking about her immediate family, the ones that were there, but that live there, like, you don't even know if they were home the day that she went missing. We don't know anything. We don't know anything. And like coming out now with 3K, I don't know what to believe. Like, do we believe there is extra phone that may have information to do with Summer? But my theory on the phone is really TBI took their first phone, the main phone. The phone that they have now is a new phone. I mean, unless he figured out a way to transfer us from one phone to the other, I don't think really anything has to do on that. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. How's everybody doing? like I said, I don't really know what to believe anymore or who to believe anymore. But there is many more cases that we could be researching and working on. I'm not saying I want to give up on Summer. I want her found just as much as everybody else, without the ones that are having monetary gain with it. But yes, I would love that little Miss Sunshine to be found and everybody can live on a happy life. Oh, you're fine, love. But as for that, I would like to talk about some new cases, maybe some old cases that just haven't been solved, or cold cases, or something different other than Summer. And we know I don't like Ernie, so yeah, I don't want to talk about Ernie. I don't know anything really much about Jimbo other than Ernie tried to steal his child. Um, so no, yep, Jimbo's out of the question. I don't know anything hardly about neighbors around Summer, so I really don't care to talk about any of them. I definitely cannot stand JS, so I definitely won't talk about her. As long as we can all keep a straight head and talk, if we have some sense and we're grown, then we can talk about whatever we want or whatever y'all want. Maisie, good one earlier that I wouldn't mind going over. What my issue with that is because Voices Behind the Walls is doing that case, so it's about to become dramaful. So yeah, we're not going to talk about that one until I see that not a lot of people are going over it. But there's a lot of other cases, not just children, adults. I really don't want to limit myself just to human children. I don't. I want to be able to do more than that. I want to put my platform out there for any kind of true crime, whether they're in court today, or well, not today, but you know what I mean, in court as we speak, or going to court, or have already been convicted but may not be the real person that they convicted. Stuff like that. I want to do something. I don't want to. I'm not based with the true crime community. Thank heaven. I don't. I base myself with talk shows and or people and podcasts. So I'm not on the true crime community. Thank you. That's such a drama in itself. Not that I don't love some of the other creators, but I guess that's where I'm different than other people. I'm happy with the 90 some odd people I have that join my platform. That I enjoy the 7 or 8 people that come in to listen to me or to have a discussion. I adore all of it. But as for that, yeah, let's find a different case to talk about. I could do it any, meeny, miny, mo, and we can find a case like that. You guys can tell me a country or a state, and I will find something in that category. But yeah, I really want to try to steer away for now. Kayla Jones. Hello? Am I? Kayla Jones. Wait a minute. How come it says here they found her dead May 5th? It says she passed away. She's pretty. Yeah. First off, how are you going to say she made if they found her? I know it's my internet, Maisie. My internet doesn't know if it wants to come or go. No. Is that any better, Maze? It doesn't make no sense. Somebody found her on the 5th. Okay, well, everything else says let's see if she is on. She is. timelines and lies that let's hear what the news has to say.
I think we're unique because now as you
Ah,
A tragic ending to the case of a missing Farmington woman who was last seen May the 3rd. Her body was discovered Thursday in nearby in Farmington. He's been suspects.
oh my God, it's gonna drive me crazy today.
Yeah, that's right, Sandy. And the sheriff says those three, two men and a woman, were the last to see Michaela Jones. So he wants the three charged as possible.
Tore up, you know. You just have to trust God.
The grandfather of Michaela Jones might M in a wooded area like this, feet off the side of the road.
We believe it was an improperly disposed of a body.
At this, there is no cause of death. They are awaiting toxicology results. The sheriff says that the two men and one woman really knew law, the Goodson law. Things would be much different now. Michaela may still be alive. The three would not be undergoing their interrogation by detectives.
These people could have called 911, done the humane thing, and if it was beyond help, then the family would have had immediate. But they didn't. They didn't call 911. They didn't call anybody. They are cowards, and they dumped their body on the side of the road.
He says a call to 911 would have kept anyone with Michaela out of trouble.
If they would have just called help, they would just call for help. They'd probably be fine right now.
Instead of being in the clear, the sheriff wants to file charges against the three.
The abandonment of a corpse evidence would be her body and her cell phone, and we're also looking for Henry.
Justice to be done. You know, to find out what happened, and they need to be punished for evil, you know.
It's easy to come to work every day. It's not easy to tell a mom or dad that their loved one's not coming home because of a dumb decision by stupid people when laws were written to protect the same people.
And the sheriff says if he discovers that others are involved, he'll file charges against them as well. Reporting live here in Farmington, I'm Rocky Madden, Fox 2 News.
Wow. Oh.
Challenge yourself for her. Challenge
Purdue University Global, education for driven.
Damn it.
Charged in connection with the
They are.
discovery of the body of the 18-year-old woman.
It is a story Fox News has been following since she was reported missing more than 2 weeks ago. Fox 2's Rocky Madden is live in Farmington tonight. Rocky.
Mandy, 18-year-old Michaela Jones was from Farmington. Her family lives here. Later this week, they will be attending her funeral and possibly in the next year, trial of the 2 men accused of abandoning Michaela's body.
It's not particularly unusual to find a body out somewhere in the woods in a rural area.
The assistant prosecuting attorney in Washington County is charged with a total of 9 counts.
There were admissions made by both individuals concerning various activity in covering up evidence that was at the scene or what potentially could have been evidence.
The body of Michaela Jones was found 23 feet off of Highway M in a wooded area last Thursday.
The charging document outlines that they assisted in finding a place to dispose of and abandon the young woman's body.
Andrew Pierce is facing 1 count of abandonment of a corpse and 3 counts of tamper with evidence. If convicted of all charges, he could spend 16 years in prison. Ethan Civey is facing the same 4 counts as Pierce and a count of drug possession. If all charges, he could spend 23 years in prison. Another Friday, just hours before the 2 men were charged.
I want justice to be done, to find out what happened, and they need to be punished for evil,
Now, Michaela's funeral is scheduled for Wednesday morning in Deloge. You may remember last week the sheriff told me there may be a 3rd person involved. I asked the prosecutor about that. He said he can't comment other than say the investigation. More on that coming up at 10. Reporting live here in Farmington, Rocky Madden, Fox 2 News.
If you are struggling to lose weight and secretly want to escape from the prison of fat, then you have to see this now.
At 5, 2 men are. A teenager's body was found abandoned in Washington County. 19-year-old Michaela Jones of Farmington was last seen. She was reported missing on May 7th. Her body was discovered on the side of State Highway M. Today, charges were announced against Andrew Pierce and Ethan Civey. Court documents say Pierce woke up on May 5th. Michaela, who had reportedly died. He and Civey then allegedly dumped her body and hid her below evidence. They both face multiple charges, including abandonment of a corpse. At 5-2, a teenager's body was found abandoned in Washington County. 19-year-old Michaela Jones of Farmington was last seen on May 4th. She was reported missing on May 7th. Her body was discovered May 20th on the side of State Highway M. Today, charges were
by the day.
Hey, beautifuls, want to hop real quick. This is going to be an update about. This update is late. I apologize for that. I have been on top of things. I haven't made an update video. I'm doing that now.
We are talking about Michaela Jones. Have you ever heard of her? My internet's not working very well.
You know, regular life gets in the way of things. But here we are. So first we're going to go over is the dowsing rod video that I did for Michaela Jones 1 week ago. Other things were correct, but unfortunately, the biggest thing about whether or not Michaela would be found fine and safe was again my session with the rods. When I asked the question if she would be found in a week, it said
Okay, yeah, we're not watching that. I didn't realize
my other questions were also correct. The answers I got to the questions were correct, but the biggest, most important one was incorrect.
This is what Forsakes was just telling us. Let's see what they have. Hey, Sunshine, welcome in. We are. Hold on. We are talking about Michaela Jones, an 18-year-old, Farmington, Missouri, years old, and she passed away. I'm not quite sure how. One autopsy says she had a drug overdose, but the family and friends are dead set on she never done drugs before. And then another autopsy saying that she
3 months.
Trauma. We're trying Find
After
out
a young woman was found dead in Missouri, her family continues to make their voices heard.
Loved ones of 18-year-old Michaela Jones are protesting the investigation by the Washington County Sheriff's Office. Fox 2's Stephanie Rothman is
Always
live
cutting out.
at that protest in Potosi tonight. Stephanie.
Family and friends of Michaela Jones have been protesting here this morning vigil. As you can see, they're shook up. This is their third passion for justice, now amplified by a new autopsy, something they do themselves, as animosity grows between them and law enforcement.
She was an 18-year-old for their whole life ahead of her, and hundreds of people who loved her.
The Washington County autopsy found drugs in her system, indicating that her death by an overdose. Her mother strongly denies it.
I told day one that my daughter overdosed. I knew that wasn't right. So the right people are behind bars.
Jones says the second autopsy proves otherwise. She says the forensic pathologist that conducted the new autopsy found no lethal dose of drugs in her system. He did find two men were charged with abandoning a corpse.
They torched her phone, smashed it.
The sheriff says no evidence has pointed to a murder so far.
Not that we don't want to see justice. Case have submitted the reports to the prosecutor. And we have filed the charges available.
Accuses the sheriff's office of turning away help from the allegations of corruption within the office.
People can look at my record and things up.
Sheriff Jacobson, however, says the sheriff's, but he says there was no federal to investigate. But the Jones family still wants answers and asks anyone
who harmed my daughter going to pay.
The preliminary hearing for those men, they created a Facebook page where they share updates about this and tips about this. Please give it away. Reporting in Potosi, Stephanie Ross.
Shut up. Oh, slow down. Yeah, we had tornado warnings and watches actually. Our channel usually gets the blue, especially in I want to see what they're comparing her, the girl Michaela to this other girl, Desiree.
And there are many unanswered questions tonight surrounding the disappearance of a missing teenage Farmington. Ms. Rocky Madden joins us live to tell us where the investigation stands right now. Rocky.
Well, Sandy, here in Farmington, the family of 18-year-old Michaela Jones is beside.
Terrible. I mean, it's almost unbearable. I lost my daughter and my daughter because
We want our sister home and safe. That's really what she lights up the room. I mean, simple as that.
we want her back.
If you're out there, Michaela, and you see this, just please come home. We miss you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm new here. For those of you who don't know, my name is Hiva, and here on my channel I cover recent missing person cases. Before we get started, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all of my recent subscribers. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers and I never could have imagined reaching that, so huge thank you to all of you who have subscribed. I really appreciate it. Today I want to revisit the case of Michaela. I previously did a video about Michaela when she first disappeared back in May. As many of you know, Michaela was found, and unfortunately in the way that we'd all hoped. Michaela's family and many others have doubted the story put forth from the very beginning. Her family has started a Justice for Michaela Facebook page and they have been advocating for her, so I just wanted to talk about some of the details. So to give you some background or a refresher, Michaela Jones was an 18-year-old woman from Farmington, Missouri. She was last seen on May 4th in the rural area of Belgrade, Missouri. On the day of her disappearance, Michaela was with her friend Briley Brackett. Michaela and Briley were apparently in a car wreck that day, and I'm not sure how serious it was, but after this wreck, Michaela and Briley were picked up by Andrew Pierce. Andrew Pierce is a 34-year-old man who does not have the best reputation in town and is known for being a local dealer. According to Briley, her and Michaela spent the good portion of the night at Andrew's. They were also supposedly joined by another friend, and this is 24-year-old Ethan Civey, who also happens to be Briley's boyfriend, I believe. I say the good portion of the night because left at around 3 a.m. when her aunt came. According to Briley, Michaela refused to ride to her at that time. So after Briley left and Michaela supposedly turned down the ride, the family obviously couldn't get a hold of Michaela, and the story they were told is that Michaela was stopped by some unknown person later that morning. Ethan and Andrew went to work. I've mentioned in my previous video that many of these details don't add up. Unfortunately, Michaela's body was discovered in a wooded area on May 20th. It was very quickly suggested that Michaela had died from a suspected overdose by the Washington County officials. Soon after her body was discovered and Andrew Pierce were arrested, they were charged with tampering with physical evidence and obstructionist. So according to the two men, here's what happened leading up to Michaela's untimely. On May 5th, Andrew woke up next to Michaela to find her already deceased. The two men then claimed that they rolled Michaela's body up in a comforter and placed her in the back of Ethan Civey's mom's trunk. They then drove to Highway M and abandoned her body on the side of the road. They also destroyed Michaela's possessions, including her phone, which they claimed to have smashed, torched. Obviously, if this is what happened, this is horrendous. What type of person or persons wake up next to somebody to find them deceased and then decide to hide or dispose of their body instead of calling for help? They dump her body on the side of the road like she's smashed. It's obvious that their intention in this story would be to protect themselves, or the ones who lied or had illegal substances on them. However, even that doesn't make sense because Missouri has Good Samaritan laws. Good Samaritan laws would have protected the two men and end the situation if they would have called for help in case of an overdose. So there really was no excuse not to call if truly is what happened. However, like I previously said, Michaela's family and many others, including myself, don't buy that this is really what happened that day. When the toxicology reports came back, they indicated that there was not a lethal amount of substances in Michaela's system. In other words, the toxicology results indicated that this was not an overdose. A autopsy also revealed that Michaela had a fractured skull and multiple contusions to her lower extremities. Further details have it already seems like happened than what the two men claim. In my previous video about Michaela, I questioned how Briley would just leave her behind, especially considering she's the one who took her there. It's believed that she's the one who called Andrew to pick them up. Like I mentioned, Briley was picked up by her aunt at around 3 a.m. that morning. I originally read that her aunt claimed to have never seen Michaela, but now I'm seeing that her aunt did claim to see Michaela was alive and well, so I'm not sure which it is. Briley claims that Michaela refused to leave with her, which doesn't make sense to me. Furthermore, Michaela had reached out to several people and called them earlier that day to see if they could get her or pick her up from Andrew's house, so she obviously didn't want to be there. So why would she refuse a ride when given the opportunity? Unless she never was given the opportunity because Briley never offered her a ride or she was already hurt at that point. From what I understand, Briley was never arrested in connection with this case and her phone did ping in Farmington Learning. I read that she's currently at a rehabilitation center. As for the two boys, like I mentioned, they were arrested and charged with abandonment of a corpse and I believe that both have posted bail, but I'm not 100% certain. According to the Justice for Michaela Facebook page, the family is seeking murder charges against Ethan Civey, Andrew Pierce, and Briley Beckett. The family also claims that law enforcement has been negligent when it comes to Michaela's case and that they've also failed to give them updates on the status of the investigation. As a result, they've hired an attorney. I also want to mention something else that I think is important here, and it's that Andrew Pierce's last girlfriend, Desiree Link, also on March, just 2 months Michaela did. She allegedly also suffered from an overdose. According to Desiree's family and friends who were there to help out her apartment, Andrew Pierce showed little to no emotion when they were cleaning up and basically just directed them on what to do with her belongings. Is it possible that there's more to do with this story as well? I wonder if Washington County is quick to frequently rule deaths as overdoses prior to receiving toxicology results like they did in Michaela's case. It's incredibly worrying that there might be a pattern here. Michaela's family continues to advocate for her and they won't stop until they find answers. They hold vigils and various fundraisers to raise awareness, and a billboard has been put up near the farm to remind people of Michaela's case and keep her story fresh in their minds. I want to know what your thoughts are on this case. Like I mentioned, I always thought that there was more to it than the two men claim. I also question if it's a mere coincidence that the two women who were in close proximity to Andrew Pierce allegedly overdosed within 2 months of each other. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. And there is a Facebook group for Justice for Michaela, and I will leave the link for that in the description if you're interested. But that's all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, I was just thinking that maybe. Like, that's weird. Like, you have two girls within 2 months of each other die of supposed overdose without getting the toxicology. How do you think that's what they die from? It's weird, because, that one surprise. But it was his girlfriend that died, and then his friend, months apart. But they never said Pierce was around Desiree. But I heard. I don't know, maybe I could hear it. Did you guys? Yes, very strange. This is one of those cases that makes sense. Stop giving me these strange cases to look at. No, but I would like to really look into this one a little bit. I'd like to get a little bit more information.
Want to know how to get free cell phones? Here's how. Q-Link Wireless is a government program giving you
After a young woman was found dead in Potosi, Missouri, her family continues to make their voices heard.
Loved ones of 18-year-old Michaela Jones are protesting the investigation by the Washington County Sheriff's Office. Fox 2 Stephanie Rothman is live at test in Potosi tonight. Stephanie.
Family and friends of Michaela Jones protesting here at the sheriff's office all day. Now they're lighting candles for a vigil. They're all really shook up. This is their third protest. Their passion for justice now amplified by a new autopsy, something they felt they needed to do themselves as animosity grows between them and enforcement.
She was an 18-year-old girl with her whole life ahead of her, and hundreds of people who loved her. She was the sweetest girl.
Washington County autopsy found drugs in her system indicating that her death was caused by an overdose. Strongly denies it.
I told them on day one that my daughter didn't overdose. I knew that wasn't right, and I won't stop until the right people are behind bars.
Jones says the second autopsy the family commission proves otherwise. She says the forensic pathologist that conducted the new autopsy found no lethal dose of drugs in her system. What they did find were multiple contusions and a fractured skull. Michaela's body was found heavily decomposed off Highway M near Potosi, tombing a corpse and tampering with evidence.
They not only dumped her like trash on the side of the road, they torched her phone, smashed it, and threw it in Big River.
But the sheriff says no evidence has pointed to murder so far.
It's not that we don't want to seek justice in this case. We have submitted the reports to the prosecuting attorney, and he has filed the charges that are available to fit the crimes that we know and can prove were committed.
Jones accuses the sheriff's office of taking away help from the FBI and makes allegations of corruption within the office.
People can look at my record, and you can prove by my record we don't cover things up.
Sheriff Jacobson, however, says the sheriff's office welcomes the FBI's help, but he says there was no federal crime to investigate. But the Jones family still wants answers and asks anyone that knows something to come forward.
Anyone who harmed my daughter is going to pay.
The preliminary hearing for those men week. Meanwhile, the Jones family, they created a Facebook updates about their protests and about the case. Police also ask you have any tips about this, please give it their way. Reporting in Potosi, Stephanie Rothman, Fox 2.
What was the one dude's name? Andrew Pierce? Andrew Pierce. Alrighty. Okay, so it says, share this up. Right here it says, I don't know if you guys can see it. It says Jones died suspected fentanyl drug overdose. How do you suspect something? Let me find out that sheriff knows a lot of these YouTubers. That's everything. Ethan Stevie was arrested on Friday. Andrew was arrested on Tuesday. They're charged with abandonment of a court, tampering with physical evidence, obstruction of the operation. Stevie is also charged with possession of drugs and drug paraphernalia. Pierce found Michaela dead on May 5th after he woke up at a house on the 1200 block of Pierce Road in South. Basically what we just heard. Did they ever go to trial? Like there's nothing. It's all the same thing over and over and over again. Y'all, I've got to watch this. I hate this man, but I've got to watch it because it was from 17 hours ago. I know I said I was going to walk away from it.
When was the last time you did a proper cleanse of your intestines? Maybe you've never done the word cleanse.
Stay off, no!
Jonathan AJLR, I can confirm today that Don Wells was read his Miranda rights by the Hawkins County Sheriff. They read him his Miranda rights today. I can confirm that. I've spoken to someone very close to Don and Candace Wells that confirmed with me that that happened. What does that mean? I want to clarify something. You know, you read you your Miranda rights, you are a suspect, or they have evidence, or they're about to arrest you. I want to clarify something. Don Wells is currently already in custody for his probation violation, serving his sentence. When officers or police officers or any type of law enforcement comes to speak to someone that is already incarcerated for whatever reason, to by law read you your Miranda rights before they even. We're just going to go in today to question Don Wells. They have to read him as Miranda rights. Read you your Miranda rights if you're already in custody for whatever. They have to do it. So if they just wanted to ask Don Wells questions about Summer, he's not a suspect, but they just want to ask him questions. They have to read him as Miranda rights. So I don't know what that means today, that they read him as Miranda rights. Maybe they have some questions for him, or maybe Don Wells is a suspect. Now, the other day, I was in Rogersville, Tennessee. I got a lot of footage, so keep an eye on footage.
All right, so first off, when they're in jail, they don't have to be read their Miranda rights. They were already read them when they got arrested. There is no reason to re. I call bullshit on JLO. I've always called bullshit on this guy. He is to me nothing but like a fucking sack of russet potatoes, and he's worthless. Like I don't even know why you entertain the purpose of wanting to listen to it. Okay, let's listen to it before I have
Footage in a couple days. I've been searching for Summer Wells for the last couple days, all in the Beach Creek area. I also visited the hotel to go see Don Wells. I tried to visit him. I filmed and documented it. I will show the video soon so you can see what happens, what transpired, and also what the jail looks like. So subscribe to my channel. Keep an eye out for that. Is Don Wells a suspect? What was this, Miranda rights, thing? What happened today with Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson's office? What did they do with Don Wells to he being Miranda-ized? I don't know if I'm saying that word properly, but you get what I mean. Interesting development. I've always said this, and I said this in other videos that I've posted, that I don't think Don Wells will ever get out of jail again. I don't think he'll get out. I think it was
talking with my mic again. All right. So this is one of the Scooby Doo tricks. All right. Everything he says is just utterly bullshit. He said somebody close to the well. Ain't nobody close to the wells right now. Besides the PR Tim Mullins guy, the two PIs, and maybe the church. No, not really. But there's no reason to re-Mirandize somebody that's already currently locked up. Like, there's no reason for it. They don't have to do that. Once you are in the jail, they can go and pull you out and talk to you for anything, no matter what it's about, because you're already locked up. Like, this idiot don't know his ass from his elbow. Okay, we all know I am not one for bashing people. I don't like it. But he is an idiot. Like, he is really retarded. I'm sorry, that's not a good word either. I shouldn't say that. He is mentally unstable. Like, GL and BHP, come on now. What does that say for you? Not to mention, y'all can't even protest in Florida because you guys are not protesters. You guys are menaces to the community. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And this is why, y'all, that I really don't trust that, because this is crazy. Like, you got idiots like this constantly coming out with bullshit. There's no reason to be Mirandized while you're already in jail. They can do whatever jail. Once you're behind them bars, there is nothing stopping them from talking. This is JLR, Jonathan Lee Richards. He really he didn't have a YouTube per se up until the second time the protesters went to Tennessee. You know, BHP, MGL, it was him, Chronicles of Olivia, a bunch of them. Like, just went there and started a bunch of trouble. Like, and he was one of them. He was the only guy with all them girls. He's really enormous. He's an idiot. Let's see what else this idiot had to say. Not much longer.
Was the probation violation was just a mechanism to hold him temporarily while they build the case, and then towards the end of the sentence, before he gets out, slap him with new charges. And I believe that's still going to happen. Maybe this is the first steps of that happening. Something happened to Summer Wells. She's been missing since June 15th, 2021. Where is Summer Wells? Is the wagon circling around them? Is it going to happen very soon? Let's pray and hope that we get answers, the public gets answers, the taxpayers get answers, the community of Beach Creek gets answers. This has been going on long enough. If you have information about the whereabouts of Summer Wells, please contact the Tennessee Borough Investigation, 1-800-TBI-FIND. Let's bring Summer home.
He's retarded. I swear he's a dumb.
Am a primary.
I bet you his mom smacking the shit out of him for having a son as dumb as him. That was really cruel and hateful and unnecessary. But that man is just an idiot. Blair's up and running. A lot of people are doing this Kathy Carlisle. I saw something say about the Miranda, but I thought it was. I honestly thought it was person, not the Miranda. Right. And I bet you it was this idiot that friggin' started this bullshit. Because he's not close by no means with that. He hates them.
Bam! What's up, guys? Happy weekend. Just got buy me a lawnmower. So let's talk about what's going on with Mr. Don Wells. So I called the sheriff's department, and all they will tell something's going on. So they will tell me is that he is currently in jail at Hawkins County,
Something we don't know.
but would not elaborate on anything else.
Not
You know, I asked him, I said, can you tell me about these Miranda rights that he supposedly got read to him? Is he getting new charges on him? Has he had new charges on him? And they said, all I can tell you is that he's in the jail here, and that's all I can tell you. So that's basically all the information I got. I did call the jail, and that's pretty much all I've got for you. They're not releasing anything.
All you're doing
other
is
than just saying he's in there. That to me is kind of suspicious, you know, because if he has been charged with anything, eventually going to come out, obviously. But it's just real odd that, you know, they're not saying, yeah, he's been charged with these new charges or anything like that. So I don't know what the reason it is. So I feel like something is up if he did get read his Miranda rights. Obviously, he's going to be or gotten charged with maybe they didn't freaking, I don't know, Miranda the first time. I don't know, God forbid, man, that'd be bad if they didn't. But I think something's up. You know, Mary, if you're out there and you've heard anything, you know, you can email me. You don't call me or anything. Just, you know, shoot me an email. Tell me if you think it's anything to do with your stuff. I ain't gonna mention it if it does. But if you think it's got anything to do with you guys, Mary, you can get off my about section on my YouTube.
He's not he's another one that just takes what everybody else says and runs with it. Okay, so my question to everybody is, has anybody heard about a trial? Has anybody heard about a trial for this case? Oh, wait. I didn't think so. Okay, so the reason why I asked that is because of Michelle After Dark's video from yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
On it because could play guilty. So
I'm sorry, I hurt my I didn't
streaming
burn.
is tricky, and sometimes trying to find the right software.
I'm mad now. Okay, let's listen to this. See if you guys can get something out of it because I still don't understand where she's coming up with her trial.
We're not seeing that. We're not going to see that in the Summerwell's case. That's obviously best case scenario, but you know, I don't think it's going to happen that someone's just going to come forward and. No, I don't think so either. Justice is ever going to be served for Summerwells. You know, someone is caught, arrested, charged, and it goes to a jury trial. These people, you know, Ali, H, Leslie, maybe not Jose, because he wasn't there. He hadn't been there for, so I don't really see what he would bring to a jury trial. There'd be neighbours, so there'd be Jodie Sue, Fred Hill. These neighbours of Ali were out on their porch, and Ali, very close neighbour, was also.
So I stop it right there because first off, JS is out of the question. They will not use her for trial for nothing. No DA, no prosecutor is going to use JS as a liable or witness for anything because they've already said that numerous times. Anything that comes out of her mouth is not credible. So why are you JS? Like JS is not a credible person for this. Who else did they say? Allie? Now Allie's making money off of them. Like, what is any of this got to do with Summer or where she's at? You can't have a trial without having friggin' anything. Nothing. Yeah, but Maisie's only thing is a lie detector test does not count in court. Will not count in court. Not in the United States. So I don't understand anything but trial. Because how can you have a trial when there is nothing, no facts leading to anything or anyone? Anyway, let's look at what she said. I'm pretty sure I left her tagged in my thing.
Out on her porch, there was a slanging match going on. Some of the things they've said about what's been said in their community, that they've won forward because they know Ali's lying, it is very telling. Now, we've got to temper that with an obvious retort in the, are these neighbours telling the truth? They obviously know Ali, very close to Ali. And maybe they don't like her. Circus they've brought to their sport. So they're going to embellish. They're going to do exactly the same, perhaps, what Ali's doing to Candice. So all the information, it's interesting, and it probably isn't, but it's telling for a different reason than picking their interview apart and saying, oh, Ali said this and it's not true because the neighbour said so. Or we get into the same situation as we do if we try to pick apart what Ali and Candice. How much of it is absolute, just like I'm sure telling half-truths and even some downright lies because she doesn't like her. So the oversize of Ali's neighbour speaking out is useful, it's interesting, but Ali isn't on trial here. No one's on trial here, right? The court of YouTube is a very dangerous place. You know, people go real life. People's real lives are being seriously affected by what's going on social media. I mean, we've seen that recently with Jose he's had since speaking. But it's useful, as I said, as a reminder that none of these witnesses are reliable because we don't know what is truth, what isn't. And I think just hearing from the perspective of the neighbour, we get a sense of that. I don't agree with the theories that have been put forward that it was Ali in the car in on the 15th of June, that it's Ali's voice on that accidental video, or it's Leslie's voice that you hear, which would say then that they were there at Ben Hill Road. No. That was Grandma's voice. I mean, look, guys, where would they all be sitting in that truck? How big is that truck? If there was Candice, Grandma, Summer, we don't see anyone. We get a good shot of the back seat, and no, it's not H's arm in the back of the truck there. It's a piece of wood or something rolled up. So where would they all be sitting? They all have to be sitting in the front, in the car. We've got Candice driving, Grandma, Ali, H. Come on now. Some of the things that Ali's
Okay, so I stopped it because I wanted to go back and see. I want to show you guys something about this picture of Summer. Because myself, I thought something at first about it. But it was
No. That was Grandma's voice. I mean, look, guys, where would they all be sitting?
All right.
In that truck. How
So you're
big is that
looking
truck?
at the
If
truck.
there was
Part right
Grandma,
here.
Some, we don't see anyone else in the back seat. We get a good shot of the back seat, and no, it's not H's arm in the back of the truck
That's
there.
what they're talking about right
It's a piece
here.
of wood or something.
Looking at
So where
the
would they all be
picture, the
sitting?
real
They all have to
picture.
be sitting in the front, in the car. But we've got Candice.
If you were looking at the picture without the talking and without it moving around, it does look like there is an arm back there. And the only reason why I say that is because the seats in the back seat in that truck pushed up against the back side. You can't move them seats. Like, it's up against the frame of the truck. Like, the back seat. So it'd be like this. Say this was the window, right? It's up against it. Like, there is no room to put a piece of wood there. So I don't know. And the window in the back. So I don't know if that was somebody's arm or if it was maybe a cut off piece of wood. I don't know. There's no way if it was a 2x6 or a 2x4, it would fit back there like that. No way in Sand Hill, unless it was a cut off. All right,
Driving, Grandma, Ali, H. Come on now. Some of the things that Ali's been saying is different than what she told Chris McDonough.
How do you know if your soap actually stops the stink? Try the butt suds test. Up, wash that butt crack. If your suds smell like your butt smells too. Ugh. Now let's go back and try this. This time with Lumi Acidified Body Wash. Soap, Lumi is clinically proven to leave you smelling 3.5 times better right out of the shower. Lumi
So now apparently, you know, H had a doctor's, and then he went to the park with his girlfriend. There was some misunderstanding. Emma and Cat Stream that they said the neighbours saw Ali at the ball field, and she did say she went to the ball field. H was at a different park than that. So just because the evening of the 15th doesn't mean anything, because I'm sure that law enforcement have got that part of the story, because they're very clear by to but if park and he based on his phone data, you know, they took H's phone. Why did they keep H's phone? Is interesting. Does that relate to Summer's disappearance, but any potential relationship, child abuse between H and Candice? That's why they've kept H's phone, because that's another case. But remains to be seen. I don't talk about that much on this channel because H is so anything that happened between Candice and H is and should be treated as such in the criminal justice system. Something interesting that the neighbours said, again, we can't confirm this is hearsay. Ali said had said, you see, this is Chinese whispers. Candice knew that Summer was dead and she'd come home in spirit. So this is something that Ali is claiming to have said, which is bizarre. If it's true, we've no way it's true, the neighbours are truthfully recalling what's been said. But is it Ali lying? Is it Ali trying to get Candice into trouble? This is the problem with kind of this side of the investigation. For investigation in relation to social media, hearsay and no evidence. But we're all here discussing true crime. We have the right to discuss true crime. We have the right to theorise our speculations forward. But let's be careful what we're treating as evidence, because none of this is real evidence. Some of it might be true, some of it might find its way into a jury trial in the future, but it will be only after it's been clarified and gone over and has supporting evidence with it. You know, like H wasn't there because his phone pinged in whichever park he was with his girlfriend. Ali wasn't there because her phone, I don't know whether her phone's been checked or whether it really needs to be, but Ali wasn't there, so they're not directly involved in his disappearance. But the reason why, obviously, H would be called as a witness is because he was there part of the day, up to about 2:30. So his testimony would be called for, I believe. As I said in a recent video, I was a jury member in February into March 2020. It finished like 2 weeks before the nation went into a complete lockdown. We were only allowed out once a day. You weren't allowed to see anyone. You're allowed out once a day to exercise, go and get food, that kind of thing. So I spent my once a day exercise walking these paths. Because I've walked these paths for so many years. It was basically work online and a take your morning stroll. I was a bit paranoid. If I broke the rules and went out twice, I just didn't take my phone the second time. Who's going to be checking up? Anyway, I digress. Yeah, I was a jury member. I was the jury for. I was the one who, when the court clerk said, do you find the defendant guilty? Not guilty? Guilty. On two guys, father and son. But every witness that was called, and a lot of witnesses who were there, none of them actually witnessed the final blows that killed this elderly gentleman. But they were there immediately before. Some of them were there hours before.
Every craft business starts small. But to make it happen, you need to think big. You need a partner that supplies your growing needs. Get bulk prices on thousands of items online with Michaels Pro. Michaels, made by you.
You can't predict what a pet will bring to your life. But with Nationwide Pet Insurance, you're ready for anything.
And they were called because ascertaining motive and ascertaining the behaviours of everybody concerned. In the hours before, it became something that was a leading part of the prosecution to prove motive and to prove how senseless a killing it was. And I think the prosecution did a sterling job because it really was just a needless murder. It was horrible. Ali and Leslie could be called because they FaceTimed with Candice after someone had gone missing, and Candice had rung H and he didn't answer, and then when she finally got hold of somebody, you know, connected to those people, and they finally believed it was true because they know this loses those kids. Candice gets drunk, Candice gets high, inattentive, whatever, and she loses her kids. H said that. Ali said that. What do they losing the kids? Well, they go out and play, and Candice doesn't know where they are. So they just thought this was another one of those. If that's something that Candice does a lot, and they've heard of such a lot, I really believe that that little nugget of information is factual, because we've got other people who back that up, people not connected with Ali and H. Like Don Sherfy Sr. said it. The kids are all over the road. They have to stop their vehicles for them because they're running around in the road. So they found with Candice, Chris McDonough there, that they were speaking with Candice and she seemed like disinterested. She was just like playing with her hat. Well, that could have been because she was nervous. She didn't want to speak to the police. Maybe because she was panicked, distressed, nervous, scared of what was going to happen next. Scared what Don was, you know, because his precious little girl and her watch, and we know he can be. Talked about that yesterday. The real Don Wells, go and check it out. Some psychology in there about the dark triad. So pick up on that video because it's not at the moment quite a bit of psycho triad. Listen to it, see what you think. So that's that. Those are the names. No reason to disbelieve them. That if they just stick to the back teeth of, you know, Ali as a neighbour, then they could possibly some things. You know, this investigation, I think there's so many problems with it. I mean, obviously, we only know a small fraction of what law enforcement know. But in terms of the witnesses, you know, witnesses and potential suspects on social media, that is a problem. You know, if Fusion wants to bring certain witnesses forward, like H, Ali, you know, the defence in the cross-examination would have that show exhibit da-da-da-da-da and really piece together a narrative that shows these witnesses to have changed their story, to have lied. No, they're not under oath when they're talking on YouTube. Like the prosecutor would have to persuade the jury that what they're saying here is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And all the nonsense that's gone on YouTube, well, that's just YouTube nonsense. But those little things, those little what we call extra evidential factors, can be very important for juries. One of the main aims of the lawyer, the attorneys on both sides, is managing jury perceptions. The jury, you know, who human beings, they can be influenced by a whole lot of extra evidential factors. So factors that are not direct evidence. There's a wealth of logical research on this. You know, if you want to go and check some of it out, type in Google Scholar, like jury perceptions or witness perceptions or something like that. You'll get a wealth of psychological journal articles on this, going back many years. This is things that has been discussed in relation to forensic psychology, criminal justice, and related fields. that in jury perceptions is a really important and very difficult, because juries do.
Look at this. You just slide your foot down. It's in.
I kept seeing this shoe brand all over TikTok. It's called Kizik, and the whole purpose behind the shoe is that it's completely hands-free. This technology in the back makes the heel pop up, so like you don't have to bend down. And before you think like, oh, there's other shoes out there that you can slide on, no, they are not the same.
Dude, like what? Are you seeing this right now?
Wow, it's amazing! Oh, I can't believe I'm about to see. Oh.
Look at that. Boom, right on, no hands. Great job, Kizik.
This best-selling booty mask is clinically proven to reduce the appearance of cellulite and helps lift and firm the skin around the booty.
I have pretty much had cellulite since
I have never really been comfortable showing off my bare legs because of cellulite.
And it always stopped me from feeling confident in a
Pick up on a whole range of extra evidential factors. So a defence trying to discredit a witness can legitimately use things that they've said and essentially character assassinate them. Yeah, it's icy. She says she doesn't like it, it's icy. It's just over freezing point. They're like 1 degree C or something. In my comments, some people care. I think we're over more to the east, like Yorkshire, east, the northeast of England have had snow. We're a little bit protected in the west because our weather's usually a couple of degrees warmer. Our climate is a little bit wetter than over the east coast. There you go, bit of useless information for you. You get that in my videos, guys. Cold snap is because wind has changed direction. I'm walking dead into the wind now. It's a north wind doth blow, and we shall have snow. And what will the robin do then, poor thing? You don't realise how high you are because it's quite a subtle hill. You can't really see it very clearly on the camera, but when you look over there to the village and you can see the whole village, how high this little part is, it just climbs subtly. Look at that view. But as it's windy, I used to cycle a lot. When you cycle, you realise just how hilly this place is. You don't feel it walking along very slowly. It's only when you put some energy into your exercise that you realise. Alright, 3, 2, 1, back in the room. So the second thing I want to talk about, you know, speaking of hills, let's about Ben Hill Road. And this, again, relates to how a trial might eventually play out. Because when I was a jury member on a murder trial, the prosecutor, Mr. Evans, spent a long time showing us maps, locations, buildings, and he thought, all right, how is this relevant? Showing us, well, of course it's relevant to get the lie of the land, to get a full appreciation of the environment in which the crime took place. And it really fed into things like positions of witnesses, both human witnesses and also electronic evidence, CCTV surveillance cameras, that kind of thing. And where the defendants went, the hours and then the minutes before the murder. It all became very, very important. So one of the first things that law enforcement would have done in the Summer Wells case is take detailed photographs of Ben Hill Road, the property,